Hello, friends. Have you ever wondered if a small promise could change an entire life? Today, a teacher from the highlands of Vietnam wants to share a story about a bamboo bridge, a young student, and a promise that transformed a village. But first, let me take you back to a rainy afternoon when I nearly lost a beloved student because of a raging flood. Curious about what happened? Stay with me. This story is worth hearing to the end. Main story name is Min, and I teach literature at a small school nestled halfway up a mountain in Vietnam. Here, every day of teaching is a journey across slippery slopes and restless streams. The children in my village don't just learn to read and write. They learn how to live, how to love, and how to keep a promise. That year, I had a student named Tung, a 14-year-old boy with bright eyes but a quiet demeanor. Tung lived with his grandmother in a modest house over 3 miles from school. Every day, he crossed a wobbly bamboo bridge over a stream to get to class. That bridge, how should I describe it? It was as old as the village's ancient tales, creaking with every step, ready to collapse under a strong gust of wind. One afternoon, a sudden monsoon hit. I was grading papers in the classroom when I heard shouts from outside. "Teacher Min! Tung, he fell at the bamboo bridge." My heart sank. I rushed out, slipping through the muddy paths and reached the stream. There was Tung, clinging to a tree branch by the bank, the flood waters roaring just inches from his feet. With the help of some villagers, we pulled Tung to safety. Soaked and shivering, he still managed a faint smile. "Teacher," he said, "I'm okay. I was just scared. I'd lose the notebook you gave me." In his hand, he clutched the literature notebook I'd given him, now drenched. I was torn between frustration and affection. Frustrated that he'd risked his life crossing the bridge in a storm, touched that he valued that notebook more than his own safety. That night, I couldn't sleep. The image of Tung clinging to that branch haunted me. The bamboo bridge had stood for decades, but no one had dared replace it. The villagers said, "It's weak, but we're used to it. Why bother fixing it?" I couldn't accept that. If no one acted, one day a child like Tung might not be so lucky. The next day, I called Tung aside after class. "Tung," I said, "if I promise to build a stronger bridge, will you believe me?" His eyes lit up. "If you promise, teacher, I believe you. But building a bridge costs a lot. Where will the money come from?" His question stopped me cold. I was just a humble teacher, my salary barely enough to get by. How could I build a bridge? But looking into Tung's hopeful eyes, I knew I couldn't take back my words. And so, my journey began. I started by talking to the villagers. I told them about Tung, about the dangers our children faced every day. At first, they shook their heads. "Teacher Min, we're poor. How can we afford it?" But I didn't give up. I went door to door, speaking to everyone, from the elderly shopkeeper to the neighbor who raised pigs. I said, if each of us gives a little, maybe a bundle of bamboo, a day of labor, we can make it happen. Slowly, the village started to believe. Old Mr. Tam, the carpenter, offered to cut bamboo for free. Ms. Lan, a student's mother, brought bags of cement she'd saved from a previous project. Tung and his classmates joined in, carrying bamboo and shoveling dirt, their faces dripping with sweat, but full of determination. The real challenge came when we realized we needed money for steel to reinforce the foundation. I decided to write a letter to a charity organization in the city, sharing the story of the bamboo bridge and our dream of safety for the children. I didn't expect much, but a week later, a group of volunteers arrived in our village. They brought not only materials, but also hands ready to help. After 3 months of hard work, the new bridge was complete. It wasn't grand, but it was sturdy, strong enough for the children to cross without fear. On the day we unveiled it, the whole village gathered, laughing and chatting with joy. Tung stood beside me, holding his grandmother's hand, and whispered, "Teacher, thank you for keeping your promise." I smiled, but deep down, I knew it wasn't just me. It was the entire village that had made this miracle happen. Life lesson. The story of the bamboo bridge isn't just about a structure. It's proof that a promise, no matter how small, when kept with heart, can create extraordinary change. I learned that what holds us back isn't always a lack of money or strength. It's a lack of belief in ourselves and those around us. Friends, have you ever thought that a small act of yours could change someone's life? Maybe it's a kind word, a helping hand, or simply keeping a promise to someone you care about. The bamboo bridge taught me that when we work together, nothing is impossible. Friends, if this story touched your heart, please share it with those you love. Let them know that in a small corner of Vietnam's highlands, people are living and working for each other. If you have a story about a promise or a change you've made, leave it in the comments. I'd love to read it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to join me in sharing more meaningful stories from the Highlands.